It's time for the summer tires to go on. ND1 Miata 2016. So I got both tires off the rear. These are my winters, as you've probably seen. And I'm gonna be cleaning the brakes. Haven't cleaned the brakes on these, haven't replaced the brakes. These are the Brembos, but you only have Brembos on the front. With the track pack Miata. And they're a little bit more tricky to clean, the pads in the front. But with these, they're a normal caliper. Just gotta undo this. Caliper folds down, and you can pull the brakes out, or the brake pads out, clean them up. But I wanted to look at everything else too, and clean up all the grossness from the winter, because I do drive this in the winter, and it has, some salt, sand, all that stuff from the winter. So I wanted to inspect everything, look at all the bushings, see how they're doing. So far everything's pretty good. It's got 50,000 on it now, and I haven't undercoated it. So let's take a look underneath to see how rusted, or what is rusted. And yeah, I think I'll get it undercoated this year. But because like all this good stuff, suspension bits, most of it's aluminum, right? So it doesn't rust. You can see the sway bar end link there. Rubber looks good, but you can tell the bolts are steel, so they rust. A little bit of surface rust. I'm going to clean up all this before I get it undercoated. But I mean, I drive this all year long, all through the winter. Now I do make sure to rinse off the underneath and keep it pretty clean and take care of it through the winter. But yeah, you got a little bit of rust. It's not too bad though. Honestly, I'll check the front too afterwards. I'll jack it up. You can see all the adhesives and stuff that Maz has put on, and the undercoating that comes from the factory. All that black goodness. But it doesn't hurt to get that spray oil, that crown undercoating. There's different products you can use, but it's all very similar. Drive shafts looks good. I love this mounting point. It's so simple, so secure. Right after the rear diff. It's actually the same on my wife's Lexus. When I get to the front, I'll show the jack point at the front on the Miata, because it's a little different. I love this aluminum brace here that runs down the center. It's pretty cool. It's all lightweight material. But yeah, I'm quite surprised that everything is looking pretty good. A little bit of rust here and there, but it's better than expected. For 2016, 50,000 on it, that I drive in the winter. A little bit of rust on the bottom of the Bilstein there. But after I clean this up, it's gonna look good. Time to inspect. Got all the safety aids on here, folks. Got Got a wheel chock in the back even. Emergency brakes on. Extra jack stands just in case it wants to fall on me. But let's just see how the bushings are doing. If there's any real problems or rust. I mean, everything's aluminum here. But everything looks good. Aluminum doesn't rust. Maybe a little bit there. Yeah. Clean that up. The undercoating will take care of that. And yeah, for the jack point, folks, just look for this little dash. It's right behind there. We'll go around. And you can see the cross member there where the jack goes. And yeah, a little bit of rust here. On those bolts. Just that steel. See, why can't they just make all cars out of aluminum? Because it's expensive. But man, is it lightweight and strong. It does not rust. The exhaust is clearly rusted, but to be expected. You know, I've not undercoated this. I've driven it 50,000 kilometers. Like I've said probably 5 times already. And I drive it in the winter. And yes, it has grime on it that I will clean off. But man, I am very, very impressed with just how everything looks. Not much rust, and all the bushings look great for a 2016. All right. Let's look at these brake pads, shall we? So on a 2-piston high-performance caliper, you have these 2 little pins. Set the light up somewhere. 2 little pins. Bam. Bam. You hammer those out. This little guy comes off, and then you can slide the brake pads out. A lot of times you get stuck and you need a machine that goes in there, screws in there, and breaks them free. Try to do it on my wife's Lexus because it has the same style. They're not Brembo, but same style 2-piston caliper. Couldn't get them out. So we will see how this goes on the Miata. Alright, going over to the other side. So these back bolts here, take the caliper off. You gotta take both of them off. There's one down here too. And they're a 12 mil. I thought, like, for example, on my wife's Lexus, you just need to take the one off, it's 14 mil, and the whole thing just slides down. But because this is like a, I don't know, different mechanism. Same idea though. But you just have to take both off. Make sure you have something for this to rest on. So you don't want to break any bolt, break any brake lines, right? This will pop right off now. Wiggle it around. There you go. Slide it underneath. Oh, my hand's in the way. There we go. And that's off. And these are the brake pads. These slide right out. The piston, you might need to compress to get it back in. And you can release the bleeder valve to do that. Or you can just compress it a tiny bit with something like this. and it'll slide back in. After you pop the brake pads out, like so, and you clean them up. And this side is doing the exact same thing as the other side. How interesting. But the slide pins are fine though. They're sliding around. How's that bottom one? Oh yeah, she moves. The rotor's fine. Interesting. Quite interesting. So this inside brake pad has a little thingy on top of it. The other side, inside brake pad, didn't have a thing on top of it. Kind of strange. Guess that's just a guide. But right now, that's kind of close to where that's wearing. I am getting a bit of a squeak every once in a blue moon, so that's probably it. It could be just a wear marker. So as soon as that hits it, it lets you know the pad's too small. But we'll let's clean these up, we'll put them back in, and then we'll look at getting some new pads in the near future. Alright, brake pads are back in. If you want, you can take the slider pins off. They just unscrew and these little rubber grommets pop off. They're a little annoying to put back on sometimes, so be careful. But both pins are sliding. This one down here slides. So I'm going to leave it. But if you want, you can do that. You can take it off. And then this chamber here, you can take a bore brush, like a wire bore brush for a rifle. I find works really well to get inside here and clean out all the old lubricant. And then you lube up the slider pin with the same stuff I use for the brake pads here and here. It's just like high heat silicone lubricant. And yeah. Alright, we got the brakes back on, brake pads back on, calipers back on, and we cleaned her up in here. Made her a little bit cleaner. Could clean this up though. That's still quite dirty, eh? Yeah. We'll put the summer tires on. But yeah, everything's looking groovy. We'll grab the summer tires. Look at the size difference, eh? From my Tacoma. Quite comical. I love these stock BBS rims, they're sick. But I also love my RPF1 winter rims. These are the original tires. Getting pretty low. Put my finger there. You can see. Getting pretty low. 50,000 on these. Kilometers, that is. I'll probably buy a new set next year. Probably the same ones, the Potenzas. Made in Japan. They've been great. Can't complain. And they were much lighter to lift down from there compared to my Tacoma. Those are the Tacoma winners with the TD off-road rims. Man, they are heavy. And now to drive and enjoy. Just finished torquing my lug nuts to 90 pound-feet, which is very convenient because both Tacoma and Lexus are all 90 pound-feet. So I just keep my torque wrench at 90 and we're good. Looks good in the sun. And those BBS rims with those Brembos look great. Let's go for a spin. Peace.